Welcome to Done Not Perfect. I am your host, Aaron Simpson, and it's been a minute. It's been almost a year since I dropped an episode. I can't really explain why, other than I just wanted to take a break. I kind of took some time to really get a better understanding of kind of what I was wanting to do with my brand and wanting to do with my messaging. And over the last year, I've been doing different things and trying different things and kind of really seeing where this process was going to take me in terms of content and what I do for work and coaching and helping people and finding my voice in all of this. So the purpose of this episode, one, is to embody being done, not perfect. So there's not going to be an intro song. There's not going to be any fancy edits. This is purely about me putting it out there and hopefully encouraging you in whatever it is you're wanting to be done and not perfect in, to go ahead and do it. Because I've been wanting to come back to the podcasting space because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to offer, I believe, but I've been kind of overthinking it, if I'm being honest, if I'm keeping it 100. And so this is me declaring that I'm just going to do it and put it out there as is. So welcome to Done Not Perfect. We're going to do this again, and I'm going to be more consistent this time. I'm not going to take a year off, I promise you. But if you're a first-time listener, welcome. If you are a long-time listener from the different iterations of the podcast, welcome back. I want to start this episode by saying that I'm grateful for each and every one of you that are listening and consuming this podcast on whatever platform that is. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the podcast, follow the podcast, rate it, review it how you see fit. Thankfully, every platform across the board, we have nothing but 5-star reviews, which is amazing. I'm grateful for that. And hopefully you feel the same way. Done Not Perfect. Why is this podcast called Done Not Perfect? To me, the reason why this podcast is called that is because for most of my life, I have struggled with perfectionism. And I grew up the youngest of 6 boys. And you can imagine being the last in line of all boys in the family. You kind of compare yourself a lot. Maybe you're in a situation, or you grew up in a situation where you felt like you had to compete. And so naturally, in the environment of our household, there was a lot of comparison by me. I'm not putting it on my brothers, but by me. Now, also, I want to give it more context. I am the only child from my parents' marriage. My parents were each married once before. My father had 3 children in his previous marriage. My mother had 2. My father is white. My mother is black. Why is that important? It's important because I have 3 brothers that are white and 2 brothers that are black, and I am the only one that is mixed. I am the only one that is light-skinned. I'm the only one that looks like me, sounds like me, has a unique experience like me. That is also important, is because it's the way that I saw the world growing up, right? I saw black, I saw white, and then I saw me. And so there was always this need to fit in because no one really could relate to me. No one looked like me. So I didn't have a reference. And so I was seeing, what my brothers on my father's side were like, and they had the straight hair and the comb back and the mousse and the varsity jackets and all that stuff. So I was like, I want my hair to be straight. I want to comb it back and wear mousse. So when I was younger, I tried to experiment with that. You can kind of imagine how that went. And then on my mother's side, you had the waves, you had, we wearing the Guess jeans, we wearing the Jordans, we were listening to hip hop. So I went through that phase of like wanting to listen to rap and wanting waves and wanting all these things. So I was trying to do that. So I grew up with this desire of trying to find my own, but because I couldn't find it, I started to copy a lot. And so it started this identity of needing to be perfect in order to stand out. Because in my mind, when I'm younger, I'm like, my parents have 5 boys. What's so special and unique about me? What's going to set me apart from the other five experiences they've had of raising a son? So I wanted to be the best at basketball. I wanted to be the best at baseball. I wanted to be the best at being funny and doing this and doing that. So there was this pressure that I put on myself of being perfect and wanting to get it right on the first try. I didn't want to be told I was wrong or to be told that I needed to do it again because I interpreted it as I wasn't enough. And I was experiencing this in elementary school, in middle school. This isn't adult Aaron. This is young third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade Aaron whose identity was attached in validation. I needed to feel validated that I was enough because I looked so different. I sounded so different from anyone in my family. And that genesis of that identity, what's the word I'm looking for? The identity or lack of identity carried with me for over 30 years. I'm almost 39 years old. I'll be 39 in April. At the time of this recording, it's January 14th. And I just grew up with this need of people just to like me and to love me. So I would be the class clown. I would say the funny thing. I would crack the jokes. I would want to be the first in the race. And I wanted to be the first one picked. Like I had to be number one. And it was great and it served me well. And I was able to accomplish a lot of things. But as I got older, like my early 30s and mid 30s, I started to see that the very thing that I relied on to protect me was now hurting me. That overthinking and trying to get it right and trying to make it just right so people's perception of me was perfect, like I had it all together, it was fucking making me crumble. Excuse my language, but it just was really just overwhelmingly just hard. And maybe you can relate to that, where it's like the expectations that you put on yourself sound so good, but it's so unrealistic. Like it's not even sustainable. And I got tired of it. And it got to the point where I was living an unhealthy lifestyle. I wasn't really being me, and I was not the best emotionally and physically and spiritually. And this is all in 2023 when everything came crashing down. So now I'm at this point in my life where it's like, this is who I am. And this is what makes me me. And this is who makes me me and makes me unique and makes me uniquely qualified to say and to do and to help, because I've been there. I know what it's like trying to get it right. I know what it's like when you're wanting everything to be right. I know what it's like when you are self-sabotaging your own potential. I know what it's like. And I want this podcast, Done Not Perfect, to represent, it's not your job to get it perfect. It's not your job to be number one. It's your job to get it done. And getting it done can mean a variety of things. It could be not waiting to know what you're supposed to do in the gym, just going there. It could mean you have content that you want to share and you're not worried about having a fancy ring light or having a fancy microphone. You're just recording it and just getting rid of it. It could mean that you have a blog post or a YouTube channel you want to start. Instead of waiting for everything to look and to feel like it's professional, you just post it as raw. You just share it as is and allow the repetition of consistency to guide you towards what needs to be better. And I think when it comes to wanting things to be perfect, what we're doing is it's coming from a place of insecurity. It's not coming from a place of wanting things to look better. It's coming from a place of not wanting to be seen as not perfect. It's coming from a place of not wanting to seem put together. Like you don't want to seem like you don't have it all together. You don't want it to seem like you don't have the right colors, the right webpage, the right thumbnail, the right gym routine, workout clothes, meal plan, whatever the case is. You're wanting everything to look different other than who you are. One of my favorite things about the church, when it's, to me, when it's done right, I guess you can say, is when the messages come as you are. When it's not about how you dress. It's not about, do you have on your Sunday's best? Do you have on the nice hat, the revealing clothing? It's not about sounding like God is in your life and using the perfect language and all that stuff. It's about coming as you are now, coming to God as you are and letting him meet you where you're at. And it's the same thing with getting in better shape and starting a business or starting your creative journey, starting writing that script or writing that post and sharing that video. It's doing it as you are. And the more repetitions you have as you are, the rough edges will start to smooth out on its own. And it took me 30 plus years and I'm still a work in progress. And maybe I always will be, I don't know. But I do know that the more I stopped trying to have this perception that I had it all together and everything was going fine, and when people would ask me how I was doing, it was always great and it was always unbelievable. And I never really gave my family or my friends a chance to really be family and friends by meeting me in my darkness, by meeting me in the spaces where I needed help, where I was too ashamed to say what I was struggling with, and giving friends and family an opportunity to help me carry this cross and to carry this burden, not to do it for me, but to do it with me. And I really believe God gives healing in community. You can ask for forgiveness on your own, but healing comes in community. And when you're dropping the veil of perfection and you're just stepping into the world of getting it done, you allow others to celebrate you and to meet you where you're at, to help you get to the finish line that you ultimately want to get to. But it's going to be hard if you're trying to be perfect in every aspect of your life, because ultimately what will happen, you wanting to be perfect is going to prevent you from starting. And maybe you have started, but it's going to prevent you from continuing to go on, because the pressure of wanting it to be perfect is going to be too much for you to continue, especially if you don't have the consistency yet. So like when I'm coaching people on their health and their wellness journey, the last thing that I care about is how many times you're eating, how many times a day you're going to the gym, how many times a week you're going to the gym. Like that's the last of my concern. The first thing I want to address is, what does consistency look like for you right now? Is it one time a week? Is it just going to eat fast food one less time this week? What's the thing that you can sustain today? And that's what we're going to focus on day in and day out. And then eventually, when you have consistency, when you have the momentum, when you're looking better, you're feeling more confident because you're trusting yourself now. Okay? Confidence comes from trusting yourself. Confidence means to confide in, and you only confide in people that you trust. So if you're struggling with confidence, and odds are you probably might be if you're trying to be perfect, it simply means you don't trust yourself enough in the thing that you're trying to do. So you're masking it in perfection. You're masking it in trying to look like you got it all together because you're insecure about this area. You're insecure about being seen or feeling vulnerable or feeling like, oh, like what is he doing or what is she doing? You're too overly concerned about people's thoughts. And I get it. I understand. Trust me, I'm not talking down at you or at you. I'm talking with you. I totally understand it, but please hear me when I say none of that shit matters. It doesn't matter. No one cares. And this is probably the biggest revelation I've had, and I hope this is a revelation for you. No one cares. Nobody is thinking about you or cares about you to the extent that you think in your head. No one is looking at your stuff and sharing it to their family and their friends and saying, look how stupid she looks. Look how crazy he sounds. No one's doing that. And if they are doing that, they're not for you. a part of the done not perfect philosophy is the more consistent that you are with just being you and just getting it done, you'll start to find the people that are for you and the ones that aren't. That's why I'm so hype about my community group, the Consistency Lab, because this program, this coaching program that meets once a week, my main mission is to help everyone in that group become consistent day in and day out, no matter how they feel. And if you can be consistent in everything that you do, because the way you do one thing, you do everything. If you can be consistent and show up day in and day out when the motivation isn't there, when the feeling isn't there, when the incentive isn't there, you're just showing up for showing up's sake, you are going to kill it in every aspect of your life, period. Period. And a part of seeing other people in the community is you're seeing other like-minded people that are on the same journey as you, wanting to shed the skin of perfection, wanting to shed the skin of caring about what people think or what people say, and just stepping into who you were created to be, as authentic, as raw, as rough around the edges as that is possible in this moment. And then in due time, through the consistency, the rough edges will start to smooth out. But you're trying to smooth edges right now that you don't even know need to be smoothed out. And if you're trying to be perfect, odds are you are also comparing yourself to other people, because how else would you know what quote unquote perfection is if you're not looking at what is working for other people? That's another reason why perfectionism sucks, is because oftentimes perfectionism is also blended with comparison. And if you're trying to be perfect and you're comparing your stuff to other people, you are headed to a road of confusion, of depression, of sadness, of anxiety, of worry, and all those other things. You're headed there because I've been there, and it sucks. When you're always in your head, you're always scrolling, looking at what other people are doing, and you're comparing their work, their words, their views, their engagement, their following, their friends, their cars, their clothes, their money to you. And it's a dead end. That's where ideas and potential go to die, is comparison. That's where they go. So the purpose of starting this podcast again, more specifically this episode, is just to say, it's time. And I'm not waiting for the theme music. I'm not waiting for the guests. I'm not waiting for, the perfect lighting. I'm setting up my guest room / office right now. So it's a work in progress, but who gives a shit? It's like the message will pierce through no matter what. You just got to get it done. Who cares if you don't have a trainer right now or you have the perfect meal plan? You know that walking, push-ups, squats, movement, and not processed foods, no pop, the snacks, you will be healthier if you just stop doing some of that. You know that. You don't need ChatGPT to spit at you a workout program and a diet plan. You already know the things that you can do right now. You just got to do it. And yeah, maybe eventually you'll be able to afford a trainer and afford a nice gym and afford higher quality clothes or a meal plan or whatever, maybe down the road, but you don't need that right now. You just have to get it done. Start. So I am grateful for your listen. I'm grateful for your ears. I'm grateful for where this is going to go. But I also, if I'm being honest, I want to celebrate myself for just getting this out there and not waiting for the right moment and not waiting for perfection, but just get this out because it's time. It's been time. And I'm no longer committed to sabotaging my potential and drowning out my voice and drowning out what makes me special and unique. It's time. And it's also time for you. So thank you so much for your ears on this brand new episode of Done Not Perfect. And we're going to meet here every single week. So share this episode, share it to a friend, share it to a family member, whomever you feel compelled to share it to your stories, whatever you want to do. The more the merrier. And if it didn't bless you, great, don't come back. But if it did, I'll be grateful for you each and every week. I love you so much. Be safe, be blessed. And I'll see you next week on Done, Not Perfect.